Hey, listen, if you want to buy a home, if you're trying to figure out how to buy a house, if you're living in an apartment or your parents' basement and you've been trying to, figure out how to buy a house, but you don't have a down payment, your credit's not the greatest, and you got a job, you get some decent income, but you just don't have the things put together, then I want you to pay attention right now. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually buy a house that you can move your family into, make it beautiful. It's your home without any money or credit. Pay attention. All right, friends, my name is Ken Dunn. If we've never met before, I want to start off by just telling you who I am, because I just said something that's really controversial. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that start shooting at this right away. So let me lay it on you. I've been in real estate investing for a couple decades. At various levels. Right now, I own a company called Cottage Dream Vacations, and we're developing resorts, cottage resorts right across Canada. And in addition to that, those resorts, I run a training company where I teach people how to invest in real estate. And one of the main programs that I teach people how to do is to go buy old cottages and rent them on Airbnb. But here's the best part. I show people how to buy cottages with no money. Literally go out and find an old cottage and acquire it with $0. And I'm going to tell you right now how to do this for a house so you can do it yourself. And I'm going to pull up my chalkboard in a second to make this really easy to explain this to you. But I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. And it's the exact same strategy that I've already taught to thousands of Canadians that do this with cottages. And I was in a meeting with my director of marketing here at the office one day, and he said, well, if this works for cottages, why couldn't this work for a house? And so that's when I started kind of really, like, my eyes went open, and I'm really excited about it. I'm even running a YouTube show where we're going to take a couple that live in my hometown, and we're going to actually help them to acquire a house with no money, to renovate it and turn it into a beautiful property for the family. But let me share my screen here, and I'm going to show everybody exactly how to do this. So I'm just going to pull up the chalkboard. Just bear with me for a second as I get her all ramped up here. And I'm going to lay it out for you so you can see it. And if you guys, like, if you've wanted to buy a house for your family and you just haven't known how to do it, this is the answer. This is what you've been waiting for. And it works. I've seen it done hundreds of times with cottages, and there's no reason that it can't happen for you. So the secret to this strategy is where you start. Now, remember what I said. Anybody can use this strategy to buy a house anywhere in Canada. This will work. And you don't have to have great credit. You don't even have to have a great job. You just need steady, consistent income. And you got to have strong work ethic, because you're going to put some work in if you're going to use this strategy. But it's really simple how it works out. The first step in this process, let me just find my drawing device to make sure I'm drawing the right thing. Yep. Is you got to find a house. So what you're looking for in a house, you're going to want something that's, let me see if I can spell this right on my phone, a fixer upper. For this strategy to work, you want to start off by finding a house that needs tons of work. And you got to be careful, because when you're looking for that house, you got to make sure it has good bones, that there's not any structural issue with it. But there's lots of properties in your city or town that fit this mold, that have tons of upside, where they're in really rough shape. And the rougher they are, the better, as long as there's no structural integrity issues. In other words, it has great foundation, great basement, great walls, it's square and everything, that's fine. But the more other things you see to improve, the better off you're going to be. Now, how you figure this out is really simple. I want you to work with a real estate agent, because they're really going to help you to find the right place. But here's an example. Let's say you find a house for $300,000. When you're looking at the house, when you're going through it, I want you to go through it with when you're looking at your houses with your agent, go through it with a pen and paper. And as you're going through it, figure out the things that need to be renovated to turn it into, like, the best house humanly possible. So let's say you're going through and you write new bathroom complete. And then you say new floors. And then you got new windows. So it needs windows indoors, needs a new walkway outside, needs new lawns, needs to be painted, needs a new kitchen, All right. So once you get all this stuff figured out, before you buy, this is still in the evaluation process. You got to figure out what all these things are going to cost to do it. I'm going to give you some rough numbers. So a new bathroom is generally going to be $10,000. New flooring for, let's say, 1,000 square foot house, it's going to be about 7,000. Engineered hardwood floors. You want to use the best floors. New windows and doors for a property like this are going to be about $20,000. A new walkway out front is going to be about $10,000. New sods for the lawn is going to be about $6,000. Painting the whole place will be about $12,000. And a new kitchen is going to be about $20,000. So you figure out what it's going to cost, then you add that up. So 32, 38, 48, 68, 78, $85,000 to fix it up. Okay, so once you know what construction is going to cost and you know what it costs to get it, you add those two things together. So you're going to have a total expense of $385,000, $300,000 to buy the property and $85,000 to renovate the property. So once you know this, the next thing you want to do is go to your real estate agent and say to her, if I do all this renovation to this property, and I just like completely redo it, like everything that's wrong with it, it gets fixed inside of this budget, whatever that budget ends up being. How much will the property be worth then in the market around us? And don't just ask them to guess, ask them for comparables. In the world of real estate, comparables, real estate agents use them all the time. You use comparables when you're trying to assess the value of a property. So when somebody hires a real estate agent to sell their property, the first thing the agent does is goes and finds comparables of the house that they're trying to sell, so they can show the homeowner essentially what it's going to cost, how much money they can expect to make. So what you're looking for, if this is going to cost you a total of $385,000 to buy and renovate, then you want to double the value. So you want to end up with a property that's going to be worth $600,000 or $770,000. Let me just get rid of that so you can see it. 770. That's what you need the price to be. And here's the reason why. What you're going to do is you're going to borrow this money, and I will help you to do this. I have a whole list of lenders that lend for stuff like this. So to buy the property, so I'm going to just write here, lenders. To buy the property for $300,000, we're going to get you a first private mortgage for 75%. I have lots of lenders that will do this. And I'm not a mortgage broker or anything like that. I just know lots of people. So if we do 75%, I'm just going to use my calculator so I don't have to guess at it. 300 times 0.75. So that's $225,000. Now that's going to be a private mortgage and it's going to be expensive, but stick with me here and you'll understand. To get the property acquired, that means we need another $75,000. So we're going to get a second mortgage to cover that. Now, these mortgages are really expensive. It's going to be like 12% interest, but that's okay because it's going to take us 6 months to renovate the property. So what we're going to do when we do our construction budget up here, remember I said 85,000? We're actually going to add in the money we need to cover the mortgages while it's going on. So let's say for 6 months at these crazy high interest rates, we're going to call this covering costs or carrying costs. And it's $40,000. So that means that it used to be 85, so now it's 125,000. And it means we're going to have another 40,000 on this price here. So we're going to be up to 425,000, which means now we need to sell that. We need a new value when we're finished of 850,000. And friends, this can happen. This happens all the time. You just have to look for it. So you go to your agent and you say, I want to see comparables. I need to know what this will be worth. Will it be worth 850,000? If they say yes, buy it. If they say no, keep looking. It's really that simple. So then the lenders are going to do a first up to 75%, then a second to cover the rest up to 100%, and then a third mortgage for $125,000, which includes all the money to make the mortgage payments while you're in renovations. Then what we do is we renovate the property. Now, if you're a new homeowner, you're going to have to hire contractors to do this, but do whatever work you can yourself. Watch a YouTube video, do the sod yourself. Watch a YouTube video, put the walkway in, watch YouTube videos, do the demolition, take the old kitchen out. That all saves you money, and you've got to have some skin in the game. You got to have some sweat equity going on here. So you get the place renovated. Now it's worth $850,000, and you only have a first mortgage for $425,000. And listen to this, friends. Why is this so important to have that difference, that big lift? It means you're going to have $425,000 in equity in the deal. But here's why it's important. The secret to this is once we're all finished, we don't want to keep these big private loans, really expensive loans. And you might not have great credit. You might not have a job, or you got a job, but you actually have to have a job and you have to have good income in order for this to work. But if you have this type of equity, 50% equity, the banks will all give you a mortgage. So now you'll get a new first mortgage at, whatever the current rates are, 5 or 6%. And now you own a home. It's really that simple. All right, let me get out of here now. All right, friends, it really is that simple. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't believe me about it, but I'm going to prove it to you. I am actually going to run a YouTube show where we're going to choose a family in my hometown in Whitby, and we're going to actually do this with them. We're going to walk you through the whole thing. You're going to see the YouTube videos about this, and it's just going to be so much fun. So if you want more information, follow me on YouTube. Check out the YouTube series that we're doing now, where we've done, depending on when you watch this video. And you know what? I'm going to put the link to our application process for the show in the chat here, just in case we're still in the application process, because we're looking for a family in Whitby to do this with. Maybe it can be you that we help to finally achieve the dream of home ownership.